So, I want us to discuss today on how mother trauma affects daughters and how it's represented to our womanhood. And among the signs are paralyzing perfectionist or paralyzing perfectionism. This is because, especially if your mother was too critical, like the slightest mistake, that voice always replays in your mind. So you always having to prove yourself. Like that's why you have to be so perfect. You have to ensure that everything is right. The other thing is lack of self-confidence, because your mother is your first feminine figure. If her herself, maybe she wasn't well kept, who taught you to be well kept? Or she always, she would always bully your body. Menona, those words in our country, saying that you're fat, you've gained a lot, you're eating too much. If your own mother tells you such words, how will you be confident now as a woman? So yeah, that is one. Self-sabotaging her patterns. Yeah, because the voices, the extra criticism, the bullying, the unworthiness, the lack of love, the lack of nurturing, the the way it was always played in your mind that you're not enough to me, you should have done better. There's those words. Definitely. Now you always procrastinate, you always in relationships, with always looking for that mother love. You're always in toxic relationships. Before you even begin, you've already replayed those words. Before you even start a project, there's a way you've already seen the end, because you're thinking, you're overthinking, you find yourself being paralyzed. And even for you to be such a perfectionist, you have to understand also there's a way you cross with other people. There's a way you cross, because we said the minute the mother bond is separated, the relationships afterwards will also be affected. So yeah, so even you can't even meet your intimate partner, you can't be intimate with a person because you don't even value yourself. It was so much pounded in your mind and in your heart as you grew up. The other thing is cruel inner dialogue that is belittling and berating. Yeah. If your mom can speak lowness, hopelessness, can pour to you her own anxiety, her own trauma, there was nothing unloving. There was nothing loving. It was, you are not enough. You're ill-equipped. You're always full of problems. I can never see you amounting to anything. I regret having you as a child. You are stupid. So those words, like the way, and how do you know you have a poor inner dialogue? When you have that one mistake, like see the minute things don't align the way you had planned, like the way you put yourself down, the way you speak to yourself, like to your heart, to you, it is so berating and degrading, because it was never poured to you. So yeah, that shows. The other thing is lack of motivation to start or even complete a new project. Like for me, I really find it hard to complete or even complete a project, because as I said, I had a critical mom, a highly critical one. Because now those voices always replay in my mind. They replay in my mind, and I'm like, do I even do this? Do I even start this? Because you've seen the end, you overthink. Like you've seen the reviews, you've seen the answers, you've seen the feedback. You're like, you know what, to hell. So yeah, that is a sign. The other thing is deep rooted feelings of unworthiness. These I went through my high school years. Oh my god, they were terrible. They were terrible, because the one that was to model to you high self-esteem, high self-worth, high confidence, high self-esteem, like the one that was the feminine energy or the feminine image that was to model to you you're worthy, you're powerful, you're of value, didn't. And now you feel yourself, you're like, you degrade yourself. You find yourself unworthy. It's like you don't see what you bring to this world. I see it a lot. And how do you see it? The way you look at yourself. How do you keep yourself? Like, do you fix your hair? And you don't need like weaves or anything. You don't need to compare yourself with people. If you start now, you see, if you always compare, there are things you're like, oh, I wish to be like that, but then it ends. There's a barrier. Like, I'm not going past this. I just admire. That's all. But now you're like, you know what? I'll never amount to anything. I don't know why I'm even in this world. Even having suicidal ideations, such things. Yes, it's your mother only still is affecting you. The other thing is fear of becoming a mother. How many people have not become mothers because of how their mother treated them? And at times I agree some people are never meant to be mothers. We've seen it even in these reality shows, how mothers are toxic once they don't heal their own trauma. They pass it down in vile ways. Like, you see the confrontations between mother and daughter. I even see it here. Let me not even go. I have seen it every single day as I walk. I'm like the trauma, the passing down. That's why you find that's why even people do abortions a lot. Like, it doesn't scare them, because they're like, oh, like they don't even have value. There's nothing hopeful about. And they're like, do I want to bring a seed in this world? So some, out of what they underwent through as children, they don't want to imagine them becoming mothers. And I agree, to some extent, not everyone was meant to be a mother. I completely agree. At the expense of, never experiencing motherhood. Some say, oh, but the deep rooted pain of what they went through is what has caused them not wanting to be mothers. So yeah, belief of never good enough. I've repeated it because, especially if you had to, like for me, like you had to earn your mother's affection. You had to prove it by, doing chores and laundry and stuff like that. Or you had to hear it verbally constantly that, you're not good enough, there's nothing amountable to your life. Such words. That's why you find like women out here are depressed, and they even marry the worst of the worst because it was never taught healthy. You don't know what healthy is. You don't know what a relationship that is healthy even looks like. So I come to the end of my video, but if I missed out on any signs and symptoms, kindly comment in the comment section and tell me what is it that you want us to discuss about mother trauma, because I know this topic is vast. I need to hear your feedback, and it's healable. Trust me, I'll speak next time on ways to heal and how to reconnect back to your mom. But in the meantime, you're enough, you're value, you understand your mom made her own decisions. Maybe you've seen yourself going through making the same decisions, but the power is in you.